Joining us now, we have a special guest to help us break down what's happening in the Democratic primary. We have Mayor Bill de Blasio and Chirlane McCray. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Hello.
So I have so many questions about what's currently happening with the moderate Democrats and their decision to kind of strategize, drop out, and overwhelmingly support Biden. It seems like that was a concerted effort to help Biden beat Bernie Sanders, someone who you endorsed, Mayor de Blasio, and give this Democratic win to Biden. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, and Chirlane has endorsed Bernie too, and she'll give you her views as well. I'll look. I think it's not surprising when folks who are more moderate team up in the name of an establishment candidate. It's just not a surprise to me. The bottom line here is, what is it going to mean for people out there voting? Well, I think what we're seeing from Democratic primary voters more and more is they want change. They do not like the status quo in this country. They don't like the status quo in our party. They're looking for something different. And what Bernie has put together over these early states, and what I am convinced he'll put together tonight in a lot of states, is going to rewrite the equation further and create a lot of momentum. But it's not going to be surprising there's a pushback. I mean, the pushback is a guarantee. You see it. I mean, God, if I watch one more commentary show and hear, that the sky is falling and the, decrying of the voters' willingness to actually choose a progressive who might change something, it never surprises me when mainstream folks are shocked and amazed that the people are unhappy with the status quo. So they're going to do what they're going to do. The question in my mind is, can Bernie reach the people he needs to reach? From what we've seen so far, the answer is a resounding yes. And I was out in Nevada. I was blown away by his ability to reach deeply into that electorate and make a difference. I think you're going to see a lot more of that tonight.
Mayor de Blasio, what was your experience campaigning to become mayor of New York City? Because your campaign was incredibly progressive. And so I'm curious if you can provide any specifics on the type of pushback you received from the establishment.
Yeah, I mean, I spent my entire campaign year in 2013 being told it was impossible for me to win. In fact, Cenk, there's a wonderful clip from 2013 of Cenk predicting the victory. He was one of the only people in America who had the audacity to do that. The fact is, when you're progressive and when you're a change agent and when you're an outsider, you're going to be belittled, you're going to be misunderstood, and the amazing thing is the people don't buy it. The people, there's a lot of discernment out there. There's a lot of information that flows, and your show is a great example. That's not through the mainstream media. And what I find more and more is voters see a bigger reality, make their own decisions. They don't believe the hype. They don't believe the conventional wisdom. The conventional wisdom is wrong so often. It's breathtaking. I don't know how it gets to still be conventional. So my experience was, a massive misunderstanding of what was happening on the ground. And, but we saw that if you just went out to the grassroots and connected with people and actually reflected what they were living and talked about solutions, in that moment, for example, ending the stop and frisk policy of Michael Bloomberg was a very clear, necessary solution most other candidates were not willing to be blunt about. People respond. They really respond. They respond to a clear, sharp vision. And I think you're going to see that play out this year.
Chirlane, I wanted to ask you something about Mike Bloomberg. So when the tapes came out of him saying we targeted blacks and Latinos on purpose, we avoided whites on purpose. And if the black guy who was stopped did not have a gun on him, that just meant he kept it at home. When you saw the mainstream media not react much to that and not ask him to leave the race, but then enthusiastically start asking him to leave the race because he was hurting Joe Biden's chances, what was your reaction to that dichotomy?
I was appalled, of course, but not surprised. This is a reflection of the establishment and what is allowed and what's not allowed. I just, I could just shake my head. And I hope people are watching and paying attention to what's going on in the process of this. I hope people are listening to these candidates and what they're saying is not possible. It is not possible to give health care in the wealthiest country in the world, right? It is not possible for everyone to have a high quality of healthcare. This is ridiculous. The way they're poo-pooing Medicare for all and saying that we can't deprive private insurers of their profit. There's just so much going on that again, I just hope people are watching and listening and paying attention to what is okay, right? What is allowed by the establishment.
There really is a lot going on. And when it comes to Bloomberg, I really do feel that he's a target-rich environment. So for instance, one of the issues with Bloomberg is that he used a private server, which is allowed during his tenure as mayor of New York. And Mayor de Blasio, you've been trying to get those emails because you have the right to those emails, and Bloomberg has been avoiding handing those over. And so I want to ask, why do you want them, and why do you think that he's preventing the release of those emails?
Well, first of all, to the kind of combining the question, so wasn't there a whole year where all the mainstream media wanted to talk about was Hillary Clinton's emails?
Correct,
and yet there's deafening silence on a billionaire, who had sensitive emails that he's covered up. And remember, last time he was in office was 2013, so it's been 7 years he's managed to cover up those emails. I mean, this is just ridiculously uneven what we're seeing here. The fact is, the public has a right to know. The fact is that even if he had a right to use a private server, if it had to do with the work of government that was supposed to be archived, was supposed to be publicly available information where appropriate, we don't even know what we don't know because he's been able to keep it secret. And it's, on something like this, where everyone else would have been held to a different standard. So just being clear that, billionaires are treated differently, okay? Because do you think there's any chance in the world if I said I've got stuff that the public should have access to and I'm not going to give it to you, that for 7 years I would get away with it? No way. So the public has a right to know. There's one standard here, and this is about a vast range of subject matter. Including real sensitive matters. For example, here's a mayor who not only did he support a racist and discriminatory policy of stop and frisk, he also supported a racist and discriminatory policy of Muslim surveillance. A lot of people were treated very, very unfairly. We found, when I came into office, my police commissioner was Bill Bratton, renowned police leader. He instantly said, we have to end this. It is counterproductive. It's hurting the relationship between police and the Muslim community. It's actually setting us back. So what's in those emails about what was really motivating that policy?
Yep.
What's in those emails about issues that we really have a right to know about?
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.